Bulldog doing some jet skiing and then some fishing. And by the way, how did your pearl dive go?
Oh, beautiful. You should see the water. Wow, you should. Why didn't you come? I left you a wake-up call.
Well, I was a little busy.
Well, speaking of fishing, I saw that barracuda you were with last night.
And it is the British Bulldog, not the most popular athlete here in the WWF, especially here in Kuwait, but maybe this man is.
And his opponent, from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, weighing in at 234 pounds.
This place is going to explode.
Hitman Hit.
The excellence of execution. Mr. Everything here in the World Wrestling Federation.
A rubber match, if you will, between these two brother-in-laws. Now let's set the stage for you here, ladies and gentlemen. It was just a few years ago. There you see the Sheik Bret Hart. Look at that headgear.
Now, is that something they bestowed upon him, or what do you know about that?
I think,
or he just found that somewhere.
No, I think that was a presented to him. I think it was a gift.
It was?
Oh, yes, he has. He's held in great reverence here in the World Wrestling Federation and in Kuwait. I was going to tell you the story here, folks. Bret Hart met the British Bulldog at SummerSlam a few years ago. In 1992.
Wembley Stadium.
Outdoors at Wembley Stadium in London, England.
83,000 on hand.
Bret was the Intercontinental Champion, and he lost to his brother-in-law, the British Bulldog. By the way, the Bulldog is married to Bret Hart's sister,
Diana.
So last December in Hershey, Pennsylvania, in the USA, when that man, Bret Hart, was the WWF Champion, he defended the WWF Gold against the British Bulldog in a real bloodbath.
He got busted open, took a lot of stitches to close him up, and luckily held on to his title.
So Bret won that matchup, and now we have the third meeting between these two phenomenal athletes. So both men thinking they're the better man. Their rivalry and their dislike for each other certainly has adversely affected their family. You will not find both Bret and Davey Boy for family celebrations together in the Hart family in Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Highly unlikely.
Well, Gerald Briscoe's got back a smile on his face sitting there at ringside. At least we're glad to see that he's okay.
Well, that youngster, Bret just made that youngster's night. Maybe his entire year.
Bret Hart, one of the great athletes who truly care about the fans. One of the many here in the World Wrestling Federation. Certainly will be remiss if we left out athletes like Ahmed Johnson. And, of course, not to mention the WWF champion Shawn Michaels, who, by the way, will be with us on our next broadcast.
He will.
And we'll see Owen Hart and Ahmed Johnson in the semi-final matchup in the Kuwaiti tournament. Hunter Hearst Helmsley has advanced in controversial fashion over The Undertaker. So Helmsley has one final spot secured. Will it be Owen Hart or Ahmed Johnson occupying the other position?
Yeah, Hunter advanced laying flat on his back, out to lunch.
Bret Hart eliminated in the tournament by his brother Owen. Again, in a match mired in controversy. Whereas the Undertaker Tombstone power drove the Bulldog out of the tournament. And look at the powerful Bulldog. If there's anything that the Bulldog can do better than Bret Hart, it may be brawl. And Bret catches the Bulldog coming in. The foot right to the face. And they technically sound Bret the Hitman Hart with a right hand knocking the Bulldog down. The Bulldog has about 20-pound weight advantage over his brother-in-law Bret. And the Bulldog, arguably the strongest man in the WWF.
But I think the tenacity would have to go to the Hitman.
And the Bulldog trying to create some distance between himself and Bret.
A lot of distance.
Bret certainly does not want to be counted out. For both these men, even though there are no titles on the line, even though this is not a tournament matchup, this is an extremely, extremely important contest.
Anytime these two step in the ring and face each other, you can bet your bottom dollar they are giving you 150%. They want to win. They want the W. That's what it's all about.
The Bulldog taking his time getting back into the ring. The Bulldog must return to the ring by the 10 count, or he would have been counted out, therefore losing the matchup. And with that comes a shorter paycheck.
Absolutely. The loser's share of the purse money is a considerable difference between that and the winner's share. You don't know how many times, Jim Ross, I've heard the British Bulldog say, "I beat Bret at Wembley." He'd like to say, "I beat Bret in Kuwait City."
Armbar takedown as Bret Hart is controlling the left arm of the Bulldog. Good strategy here, considering, Gorilla, the overwhelming upper body strength of the British Bulldog.
No question about it. That strength goes out the window when you're lying on your back like that. Bret knows that. Probably the most technically sound wrestler to come down the pike in the last 20 years.
Bret trying to neutralize the strength of the Bulldog by utilizing the arm bar. And the Bulldog must work his way back up to a vertical base, as he is trying to do here.
Many years ago, I nicknamed him the excellence of execution, because that's what he is. Whatever he does excellently.
Bret Hart using great leverage here and technique, keeping the Bulldog at bay. Remember, folks, the Bulldog, one of the strongest men to ever compete in the World Wrestling Federation. And good quickness and agility, but there's a
handful of hair there.
Hair pulled by the Bulldog. Out of view of the referee, the Bulldog denying it. Well, there you see the ethics of the Bulldog.
Well, the referee's job, if you don't see it, you can't call it.
Call what you see what you call. Bret back up on a vertical base here, trying to figure out a counter. Bret, so sound fundamentally, as Gorilla alluded to, and has mastered the art of utilizing leverage.
That's what it's all about. That's what wrestling's all about. He learned it in the dungeon in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, under some very adverse conditions.
And Bret the Hitman, oh, look at this! A crucifix by Bret Hart. 1-2.
Almost got him.
And
I think Davey was more surprised than in trouble.
To expand on what Gorilla was saying, the dungeon in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, under adverse circumstances, that's the basement of the Hart family home. And Bret's father, Stu, very famous, a renowned trainer of great professional athletes.
Many would consider him a torturer.
Well, Bret's father is a master, was known for many years as a master at submission holds, a wonderful mat wrestler, and all the Hart sons, and including the Bulldog, the brother-in-law, trained in the dungeon, in the basement of the Hart family home.
Oh, nice counter move there.
And Bret driving the elbow. That could be enough, and the Bulldog kicks out.
Father Stu, at times, a very sadistic individual.
Yeah, he had a mean streak when he was competing. Stu was a national champion. Bret's father was a national champion in the amateurs in Canada. So the heritage that has been passed down through the years to all the sons and even the son-in-laws. And I'm sure that someday, Gorilla, we're going to be seeing some grandsons and some nephews in the squared circle.
Oh, are we ever? You know, over a dozen children in the Hart family. I remember these little guys when they were just running around in their diapers. Stu and Owen, I can remember them walking around in the snow with nothing on but diapers.
Bret and Owen certainly were. Oh, there's a knee right there. Boy, he got right back in the match in a hurry, didn't we?
Boy, did he ever. It only takes one move, and he got the kind of power that Davey Boy has. And look at it. It's pretty hot here tonight. It's hot.
Yes.
These guys have been out there now going for about 10 or 12 minutes. Hardly broken a sweat.
Hard headbutt.
Their condition.
A headbutt in the, was it the open hand? The Bulldog said it was on the shoulder. It looked more like it was in the throat to me, and I think that's exactly what happened.
Well, the referee was trying to tell him to stay away from the esophagus area. That's where the shot came.
And now Bret Hart being choked even more by the British Bulldog. The Bulldog has certainly become a surly individual since affiliating with James E. Cornette.
Why would he align himself with that scum?
Cornette's certainly one of the most controversial figures currently in the World Wrestling Federation. Uppercut forearm by the Bulldog.
European style.
And there's a cover, and Bulldog did not neutralize the legs.
He wanted to count. He wanted to be the referee, too.
Reverse chinlock by the Bulldog.
Had he been doing what he was supposed to do, this match could have been over.
Of course, the Bulldog is formed in allegiance with his other brother-in-law, Owen Hart, Bret's younger brother. And with Vader, Owen Hart, and the Bulldog, Kip Cornette, manager Jim Cornette, certainly in a position of power right now in the WWF, as Bret pulls in that chin to try to relieve some of the pressure. You see Bret's head is crimped thanks to the power of the British Bulldog.
A nice bridge position here. If the Hitman could do it, he'd have to carry an awful lot of upper body weight of the British. But look, enough pressure here to make him turn it loose. So there's the tenacity we talked about earlier on.
Hard right hand to the back of the head by the British Bulldog. Almost 260 pounds of solid muscle. And Bret going for another crucifix.
Didn't get it.
The Bulldog blocked it. And that's power for you, ladies and gentlemen. The Bulldog blocked that maneuver and goes for the leg drop. That's all.
Another nonchalant cover. I don't believe it.
Well, the Bulldog is certainly arrogant here.
Too arrogant.
The Bulldog has been versed in much sounder fundamentals than we are seeing in these pinning situations. Inside cradle. 1, 2.
Another nice attempt. At least that one was 100%.
Bulldog comes right back up very quickly. Bulldog quickly regains his vertical base so that he can continue to be offensive. You look at how the game of human chess is played inside the squared circle with two athletes of this caliber.
Of all the guys here, all the superstars in the world, oh, look at this. Ooh, wow.
Hard.
Superstars here in the World Wrestling Federation. The guy that can absorb a lot of punishment is, in fact, Bret the Hitman Hart. It's amazing to me how this guy can continue to take this kind of pounding and still have that ability to come back.
Bret Hart has a great deal of character, a phenomenal amount of heart, no pun intended, but great determination. In my book, for my money, Bret Hart, since my tenure in the WWF, is the greatest superstar I've ever seen in the World Wrestling Federation.
Both in and out of the ring.
And the Bulldog,
talk about being out of the ring,
in this rubber match, in this third match of a very intense rivalry, of a very competitive series between these two men. Remember, each man has won one of the matchups. The Bulldog in London, Bret in the United States. And now we are in Kuwait City, Kuwait, for the third meeting between these two.
And the winner, Jim Ross, of this match could easily be team #1 challenger and get a title shot against Shawn Michaels.
Certainly could. That's why this
I can do that.
That's why this match is so ultimately important.
Davey Boy making Bret carry his weight now very nicely.
This crowd is chanting, "Let's go, Bret." No athlete draws a larger crowd outside our hotels, no matter where he goes, as Bret the Hitman Hart. And Bret's back up to his feet. And the Bulldog catches Bret coming off the rope to the hard elbow.
Boy, he set him up for that. He was waiting.
Cover, 1. And Bret kicks out. Bulldog got another 2 count. And now the Bulldog
going to the outside. Let's see if he goes all the way up.
Bulldog deviating from his normal game plan.
Boy, this is not his forte.
A high-risk maneuver did not. I repeat, did not pay off. Look at that. Side Russian leg sweep by Bret the Hitman Hart. And the Bulldog's in trouble. The Hitman with a rush of adrenaline. The Hitman is going to try to build some momentum here. There's an inverted atomic drop. The Bulldog's in trouble and knocked down with a clothesline. There's a cover. There's a count. And there's a kick out.
Why didn't he go for the sharpshooter? Had him set up there nicely.
A DDT.
Excuse me.
And another cover. 1, 2, and a kick out.
Hitman brings so many things to the table, so many maneuvers he can put you away with. You never know what to expect.
That DDT, a page out of Jake the Snake Roberts' playbook. Backbreaker.
Look at the execution on that.
That is textbook perfect. And now the Hitman will take a chance. Bret Hart leaving his feet, going to the second rope. Is he taking too much time? No, he did not.
Davey's in a lot of trouble.
Bret Hart now in the driver's seat. It could be sharpshooter time. Bret spotted. Submission. Finishing maneuver. Bret Hart steps in. Here it comes. Can the Hitman get the Bulldog over? The Bulldog's fighting it, Gorilla.
Well, he tried to block it, but Hitman reached back, took the arm, threw it over. It's too late for the counter.
Wait a minute.
Wow.
There's Owen Hart. That's Bret's brother. And Bret moves. Bret cradles the Bulldog. And Bret Hart wins it. And here comes Owen Hart. Owen Hart now hammering away at his brother. His own flesh and blood.
This is ridiculous.
The Hitman has won the match. But Bret is being taken apart by his brother Owen and his brother-in-law, the British Bulldog.
Let's get some more help down the ringside there.
Bret Hart being pummeled. There's no reason for this. This is totally uncalled for.
Come on, referee, what are you counting for? Get out of there. Go get some more help. Where's Jerry Briscoe when you need him?
Bret Hart has just been hammered thanks to this heinous double-teaming attack by Owen Hart and the British Bulldog.
This is the kind of shellacking you take to terminate your career.
This is absolutely deplorable.
Now, you want nothing, Davey. You want absolutely nothing.
Well, I guarantee you, Bret Hart can get a partner, and we can see Bret Hart and a partner against these two guys in a tag team matchup before we leave Kuwait City. I'll guarantee you, Bret Hart will do whatever he can, whatever he has to do to get a tag team partner and take care of the Bulldog and Owen Hart.
Well, I guess the referee made them aware that there was thousands of dollars involved in fines here had they not ceased and desist.
Well, Bret Hart had the sharpshooter until his brother Owen interfered. Let's take another look here, Gorilla.
Well, he had him set up beautifully, gave the thumbs down. Davey Boy tried for a counter on the sharpshooter. As the Hitman turns it on,